Good morning, Ty. How are you, my man?
I'm good. Rover, what's happening?
Hey, man. So now that Extreme Makeover Home Edition is over, are you finding yourself? Do you enjoy the time off? Obviously, you're keeping yourself busy doing other things and making appearances and stuff like that, or do you want to jump right back in and get back into something to just keep going with stuff?
Well, yeah, I'm like one of those people who I don't think is completely content unless they've got like 80 things they're juggling at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, when you've been on a crazy, a churning wheel that was Extreme Makeover Home Edition, not only was it, kind of a thing that just inspired you so much that you wanted to continue doing it, but you went at such a fast pace that like jumping off, was like a shock to the system. So, I've always I literally just landed a day ago from a trip to Africa that I've always wanted to do. So I'm doing several different things. I'm knocking things off my bucket list that I've always wanted to do, which is kind of a cool thing. I'm sort of turning that into a bit of a show idea as well. And then, but I've got a bunch of different things happening. I'm also building a house for my own family, this thing called the Next Gen First the Future Home down in Florida, because my mom has got some breathing issues, whatever, and she's seen me build homes for so many families across America. I think it's time I actually gave back a little bit to the creator.
Boy, how much pressure is on you for that? Because people know from the show, they see all these great houses. I mean, you can't put something half-assed together for your mother.
It's so true. It's like, well, so yeah, I'm doing my best to make it very special. But yeah, I'm also doing some TV. I've got a show coming up that I'm shooting in about a month that it's called On the Menu, that I'm working with Emerald. And we're sort of giving three chefs a chance of a lifetime to sort of live their dream. So, I'm doing all kinds of things, some related to the home, some other creative projects, and like I said, I'm also just sort of living like every moment that I can, because I know what my life is like. It's crazy. Like one minute I'll be doing this, and next minute I'll be doing that. So I take advantage of any time I have off to live it to the fullest. So
You seem like a very busy guy, always full of energy. I know one of my co-hosts here on the show was on an episode of a Home Makeover, said that you were just great on the set and how full of energy you are. And I was reading about Ty before he came on, and you have ADHD, and I guess you still take Adderall all the time. Do you think that if you stopped taking that, would you still be as amped up as you are every day right now?
Well, yeah. Well, here's the thing. I think a lot of my friends know me, and well, when I don't take it, like it's the thing. It's like I'm a lot of fun when I don't take it, because one of the things about ADHD is your impulsivity, which means I'll jump out of a moving vehicle at 70 miles an hour because I'm like, this could be funny. Let's just see what happens. I mean, people make really bad decisions because they don't think before they do, and I'm the king of that. I will just the beauty of the medication is it makes you assess what could happen if you did do something that's stupid. So I still have a lot of fun, but I don't have as many broken bones because I think a little bit before I do it now.
Yeah.
So, but no, I mean, that never really goes away. Your personality doesn't go away. And look, I'm not a doctor. I just know it works for me. But it all depends on how long you've been taking it and how well you know your body. Like I don't take as much as probably some other people just because I just need to keep the engine running.
Do you ever worry do you ever worry that, I mean, basically the Adderall is just basically pure legalized speed that, some people need it or whatever, but do you ever worry that it could have health? Do we know what the long-term health effects are of taking that stuff every day? Do you ever think about stuff like that?
Well, I totally. And guess who I call? I call my mother, who happens to be a child psychologist. So and she's done tons of research on it. And so, it all depends. It's like anything. And people take aspirin every single day, but if it's a low dosage, I mean, look, it's up to every parent, it's up to every person who has their own thing, and it all depends. I mean, look, there's a guy I used to see a long time ago who swore by staying on a certain diet, if protein could also change it too. The problem is if you follow your diet, then then your whole cycle sort of falls apart. And so, I mean, there's always pros and there's always cons. I know what works for me, but it's just an interesting thing. We all have different metabolisms. We all have different systems. I'm like hypoglycemic too, which means I got to watch my sugar intake too. But sometimes it's fun to push it, and just see. I mean, it all depends on the circumstances. But I think I think what is kind of lucky, I think, for someone who has battled that, to be able to have a job where you're building things and you've got cameras in your face, and the fact that I could build pieces of furniture while using, reciprocating saws and never leave a finger is pretty impressive. If anybody knows, accident-prone kids with ADHD,
yeah.
The adults. So, in that sense, I think I've done pretty well. But yeah, there's so many challenges that come with it, but it's mainly confidence. But once you find something that you're good at, that, you see that other people believe in your talent, then I think then the world opens up. It's only before that where you don't really have the confidence, something that ADD can really drag you down.
Your phone is getting like a little muffled or something, Ty.
I've heard that. Oh. I've heard that. That is, I wear a muffler on my face to make me sound more like a Harley.
Let me. By the way, and Ty Pennington is going to be at the Home and Remodeling Expo tomorrow at 1 p.m. You can get tickets at homeandremodelingexpo.com. His website, typennington.com. You mentioned going to your mother for advice. She was a psychologist. You're building a home for your mother. As I was doing my research on Ty Pennington, I was reading about you and found out that your mother and father were divorced. Your mother got remarried when you were, I don't know, how old were you when your mother got remarried?
Well, I think, look, I was pretty young. My dad got stationed in the Army in Germany. We came back, and I think they sort of got – so, I could have been 4, but I didn't get really legally adopted and changed till I was around 10.
Did you have – because I had a single mother, and then she started dating this guy who she eventually married, and, man, did I have a lot of resentment to that guy because I thought I felt as if he was stealing my mother away from me. Did you have – resentment to your stepfather at first?
Well, no, I think the thing with me is that, hey, look, my mom's a very intelligent lady who was really into the jazz music scene, and so first mistake in dating is never date a musician. I think that should be a written law for those viewers out there. I don't know why. It just but the thing is, both my dads actually knew each other. So, no, I think I was too young to really worry about that. My mom was doing so much. Like she was working full time at night, but she was going to school full time during the day.
Mm-hmm. And
so that anybody who could give her some type of relief in any kind of way, taking care of us, I think I was stoked for. But yeah, it's growing up with basically a single mom is you're sort of really relying heavily upon them, and especially when your father sort of works at night. Let's just say I think my brother and I became very independent at a very young age.
Yeah.
We started taking the bus. At like age 8, and so when you can leave your home, go to Six Flags, go to a mall at the 8 years old
by yourself.
You know what I mean? You become very self-sufficient, and so I think that led to, I think me becoming really good with my hands and me finding things to do creatively. Because
you say, Ty, that your biological father and your stepfather, that they knew each other, and was that awkward? I
don't really know. Because I was really young. So, yeah. I just meant that they knew each other because they played in the same musical circles,
Okay, all right.
So, that's just a small, Atlanta wasn't really that big back in the day, especially in the jazz community. But yeah, I think my stepdad ended up being a really smart guy. Really, his best friend was like it's still the dean of philosophy at Calgary University. So you can imagine the kind of conversations, and I was like, what? So, it was nice to have that kind of influence when I basically fall over laughing over toilet humor. So you could see there's a little gap there in between.
Well, speaking of intelligence, you were a model for quite some time. You were.
Oh, thanks. Yes, I was a high fashion model.
Well, you were you did television commercials, you did modeling, you did print stuff, and would people assume that you were dumb just because you're a good-looking guy? Is it the same kind of people think that about women? They go, "Oh, she's really hot. She must be stupid." What is it like for a guy?
Well, I think that look, in in the fashion industry, you're going to run into some really good-looking dumb people. That's just going to happen. But what I learned on both sides of the coin, the males and the females, you also run into some good-looking, really intelligent people. So, you know, it all depends. It takes all kinds. I think anybody who just relies on that as a talent to get them through life is going to end up being fairly dumb, because that just doesn't pan out.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, and so, you know, I think anybody who used that, I mean, look, I got into that just because somebody offered me, they said, hey, you know, if you need any extra money to pay your way through, you know, pay your college, because I was going to art school and I was like working full time during the day. I had to go to school at night, and like any kind of extra cash that would pay for that. So I went into this agency and was like, hey, this dude said I might be able to make some money. And they looked at me and were like, well, you need to cut your rat tail, my friend. And then they're like, and while I was there, like some crazy guy from Japan was there. He was like, you should come to Japan. And I was like, why? He's like, you make money. I was like, really? And so, of course, I went over there, didn't make any money, and I was like, first time or whatever, but it was like culture shock. And from then on, I was like, okay, I have to keep traveling the world because this is insane. So, I mean, I think it's an opportunity that you can't say no to. You know, it may not lead you down the path you want to, but in a weird, you know, in a weird sort of chain of events, it ended up giving me the confidence to be totally comfortable in front of a camera, which I would have never thought I would be. But that's certainly a good sort of training wheels to eventually have a career, you know, on TV, because if you can just completely be yourself in front of a camera, that's the gift that I think everyone's looking for these days, because there's so many people are so self-aware. It's nice when they're not.
Let me tell you something about Ty Pennington that you may not know. I read a story, and this is great. There was a radio show in Montana, of all places, and they were goofing on Ty Pennington, saying that he was a phony or that he faked stuff for the cameras on the home makeover show. So what does Ty Pennington do? He actually calls into the radio show to confront these guys.
That's great.
That's great. I mean, I haven't heard it, but it sounds great. The concept of that sounds great, Ty.
Well, yeah, that guy was interesting. You know what the media is like. If it's a small town and there's stuff going on and they're trying to get in touch with you and you won't call in, then they'll just start making up some stuff and start sort of like, you know, trash talking to see if they can get, you know, vote you to get in. But the guy started basically saying, because my crew, look, we were at crazy hours, you know, and then once we get off, the crew would go into town, and sometimes they would like really throw it out because they've been working nonstop for 30 days and like 33 hours. And so, and you know, that was, of course, in a small town, you'd be like, oh, you know, the home improvement crew was in town and man, they, you know, went crazy, whatever, even whether I was involved or not. It was just like, you know, of course my name's going to be thrown into the hat. So the guy was sort of saying all kinds of, you know, stuff like, these guys are whatever, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I had to call him out and be like, yeah, man, what's the deal? Why are you saying? I'm like, you should come to the set and meet the people you're talking about, and then make the judgment on whether or not you think they're quality human beings. I was like, you know, and so it's funny. So then of course the guy was like, once I confronted him, he was like, wow, okay, well, yeah, well, thanks for calling, you know. And so basically he was just trying to get, you know, me to call in, and it worked. So There's the medium.
Ty Pennington is going to be at the Home and Remodeling Expo Saturday at 1 p.m. homeandremodelingexpo.com for tickets. Before I let you go, are you still, I read that you had a girlfriend for a long, long time. She was also your manager, is my understanding. You never got married. Are you still with her? Did you ever get married? I don't know what the...
Well, I'm a glutton for punishment, so she's still my manager. So yeah, I mean.
And are you still? Do you still date her as well?
No. But let's just say we're family. You know, it's one of those things. You know when somebody really, you know, cares about you in your life, and so you know, it's not that. I mean, who are you going to trust to make, you know, good decisions business-wise?
Sure.
Somebody who actually cares about you. So, you know, I'm just that way. I'm a loyal human being when it comes to friends I've had for a long time.
Well, I'll tell you something, Ty. The co-host, she's not in here right now, but the co-host, one of the co-hosts on my show, and I dated for, I don't know, like 8 years or something. And
so you're a glutton as well.
Well, yeah, and now, I work every day with my ex-girlfriend, but you know, people, and we've been broken up for, I don't know, 6 years or something. But sometimes when I start dating a new girl, they are They're uncomfortable with that because,
yeah, well, of course they are.
you know, so have you dated girls and they go, well, man, you're still talking to to your ex, who's your manager. They must feel uncomfortable over the situation too, right?
Yeah, it's difficult because there's always like the approval crap, you know, about like, you know, but it works both ways. It works both ways, you know.
A lot of people, they just don't understand. I mean, we're still very close and very, very close, but there's nothing romantic about it at all. But some girls, they just don't understand that. Like, why would you want to keep talking to your ex-girlfriend? And it's tough for some people to get. But hey, listen. So are you single now, or what's your story? Are you dating anyone? You married? What's going on with you?
Man, I travel so much. There's no point in that. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like, it's just, I mean, seriously, I don't even have a plant that stays alive. So it would be great. I think eventually I'm going to hit that where I can actually stay in one place and do some of that. But yeah, for now, I'm just like, you know, I guess what you call is just, what's the word?
Totally available for any girls that want to go to the home remodeling expo.
Exactly. That's exactly right, Robert. Available for anybody who's going to be at the home show tomorrow. But look, I've got to run, man. But thank you so much for having me on.
All right. Thank you, Ty Pennington.